White Sox series is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Well, the skies have cleared here in Chicago, and today we will play two between the Twins and the White Sox. It is the final series of the year between these Central Division opponents. I'm Jamie Hirsch inside U.S. Cellular Field, where today we will play a true doubleheader, and actually with a day game tomorrow, these two teams will face off 3 times in the span of only about 24 hours. So let's set the stage for this quick series between the Twins and White Sox. We expect a showdown between two of the hottest rookies in the league. Jose Abreu for the Sox, Kenny Vargas for the Twins. Two young guys who can hit the ball a long way and also have been driving in runs like crazy. Abreu just 1 RBI away from his 100th of the season. The Twins, the team, are still swinging and scoring with the most runs in the big since August 1st. That was the last time they were in Chicago, and they scored 32 runs in those 3 games. But it could be a different story this time around, as the White Sox starters have been very solid for the last week or so. 7 straight quality starts for them as they try to end this season on a high note. And speaking of quality starts, the Twins have their most quality starter on the mound today, Phil Hughes, trying for win number 16 already this season. And when we come back, Dick and Bert will set the stage for the matchup on the mound. Phil Hughes against Jose Quintana.
Presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Ram. Come in and get a great deal during Ram Truck Month, going on now. It's a day late because of the rain out last night, but tonight the Twins and White Sox get their 3-game series started, and the first game should be a well-pitched ball game. Phil Hughes for the Twins, Jose Quintana for the Chicago White Sox, and we're here for another doubleheader. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. We had 2 in Cleveland. That didn't turn out so well. We'll see how the Twins fare here with 2 games against the White Sox and their ace on the mound.
Yeah, Phil Hughes here in Game 1 this afternoon, a guy that has been red hot over his last 7 starts, 5-1, an ERA under 2, coming off a very good start against the Angels in his last start where he faced 29 batters, 26 first pitch strikes. He is a strike thrower, only 15 walks, and 18 of his 29 starts have been quality starts. For the Chicago White Sox, it'll be left-handed pitcher Quintana.
While Phil Hughes has been clearly the ace of the Twins,
Notice
Quintana.
how I wanted to read.
I know you're anxious to get things moving here today for some reason. Quintana has kind of pitched in the shadow of Chris Sale, but he's had an outstanding year himself.
Yeah, Quintana last year, 17 no decisions, already 12 this year. He's making his 4th start against the Twins. He doesn't have a decision yet. Twins have won all 3 games from this left-hander when he started, but this guy's having a great year again for the Chicago White Sox.
Neither the White Sox nor the Twins are happy with their placement in the standings. They've got a couple of rookies they hope will allow those franchises to climb up through the standings. Of course, Kenny Vargas, a run producer for the Twins, and the probable Rookie of the Year for the White Sox, Jose Abreu.
Come on, let's go.
Now the White Sox and Twins are in rebuilding mode, trying to get back to the top of the division. The pieces are beginning to come together. Thanks to a pair of rookie sluggers, Chicago and Minnesota may be closer than many think. They battle it out for one final time in 2014 this weekend in Chicago. A beautiful day here today in Chicago. We've got 2 games to bring you. One right after the other, or about a half hour after the other. And Ron Gardenhire, Harry Steinbach, and the Twins, of course, had to run this drill in Cleveland, where the second game was rained out. We had a doubleheader on Thursday. The Menards batting order for the Twins. Danny Santana leading things off. He's done very well against the White Sox. And Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Kenny Vargas, Trevor Plouffe, Oswaldo Arcia, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, and Aaron Hicks.
And for the 4th time this year, the Twins will face Jose Quintana, 25 years old. Now, this is his 30th start of the year, 19 quality starts, but don't let that record of 7 and 10 fool you. Very good earned run average at 3.38.
13 home starts and only 5 decisions, 2 wins, 3 losses. Here's Santana, of course, hitting right-handed, and he takes strike 1, says Angel Hernandez. Santana, Dozier, and Mauer here in the Twins first. Strike 2.
Both these pitchers here are strike throwers. Quintana, not the control overall that Hughes has, but they both attack the strike zone and work very quickly.
Checked his swing, 1-2. They made the right decision by postponing the game early last night. It started raining seriously late afternoon. No chance of getting the game in, and so that's why we have this doubleheader here today. 1-2 to Santana. Swing and a miss. A strikeout to start the game. White Sox out in the field. Have an outfield of Jordan Danks in left, Adam Eaton in center, Avisail Garcia in right. Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez left side of the infield, Carlos Sanchez, Andy Wilkins the right side, and Tyler Flowers behind the plate. One down, and here's Brian Dozier. The hope is sometime here in Chicago, Dozier will finally score that 100th run. He's been caught and passed by Mike Trout in the run department. Trout has scored now 104 runs, mainly because the Angels are scoring about a dozen runs every game.
Boy, are they one hot ball club. Well, Brian Dozier been struggling as of late. You have to get on first to hopefully score, and he's had a tough time doing that as of late.
1-1. 2-1.
Quintana from Columbia in his 3rd season with the White Sox. 9-game winner last year, but 17 no decisions.
High fly to center field. Eaton under it. 2 down.
Let's take a look at the Mall of America scouting report on Jose Quintana. Fastball, curveball, changeup, very good changeup. He changes speeds very well, all off the fastball. And he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Over his last 24 starts, he's allowed only 4 home runs. That's back since April 25th, and he's allowed only 8 home runs on the season. And this is always considered a home run hitting ballpark, especially during the summertime when it gets humid and hot here.
Bowers hit a couple of home runs against Quintana, and he takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 8 for 18 with a couple of home runs for the Twins' first baseman against Quintana. One and one. Twins winning the first game in Cleveland, then losing the doubleheader that was played on Thursday. Chop, foul.
Joe's always enjoyed hitting here at U.S. Cellular Field. A career .339 hitter here in Chicago. 85 hits and 251 at-bats. 9 home runs. Flowers setting away the catcher.
And Mauer grounds a single to left.
Joe taking that pitch away the other way.
Have had some success against Chicago because Mauer swung a potent bat against them.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to 2005, he came in, very, very good numbers against the White Sox.
Here is Kenny Vargas. This is the 5th doubleheader of the year for the Twins. They won both ends of one, split another, and lost both ends of the other two. First doubleheader of the year was at home because of rain, snow, whatever it was, back in the middle of April, and the Twins ended up sweeping a doubleheader against the Blue Jays.
Vargas's numbers right there: 7 home runs, 1 as a right-handed hitter, where he's hitting .250.
The outside corner, 0-2. Two strikes, Quintana to Vargas. Checked his swing. It's in the dirt. Mauer tries to advance, and he is out at second base. Joe saw the pitch in the dirt, tried to move up a base. He's thrown out at second. A good throw by Tyler Flowers. Robin Ventura's team 4 games ahead of the Twins in the American League Central. I don't know that winning, frankly, is the most important objective for either the White Sox or the Twins right now, and that's a sad state of affairs, of course. The Menard's batting order for the White Sox: Adam Eaton leading off, Alexei Ramirez, Jose Abreu, Connor Gillespie, Avisail Garcia, Jordan Danks, Tyler Flowers, Andy Wilkins, and Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah, even though these games aren't going to mean much in the standings as far as, playoff berth or anything, but the players still, these stats show up on the back of your bubblegum card, and right now Phil Hughes has some very good numbers that will look on the back of his bubblegum card, making his 30th start, his 4th start against the White Sox, and his career. This is the 11th career start, 15th game. He's won 4 games against the White Sox, 3 losses over his first 10 starts.
Adam Eaton will leave things off. Of course, he's in his rookie season with the White Sox. And he takes a pitch low, ball 1.
Now, Eaton kind of a spark plug. He's been a couple times on a disabled list, and it kind of hurt the offense a little bit, but having a very solid year. 297, a lot of speed. You want to keep him off the bases.
Popped up. Deep short, short left. And it'll be in short left where Aaron Hicks makes the catch, 1 away. 1 down. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Aaron Hicks is in left. Andy Santana's in center. Oswaldo Arcia is in right. And Trevor Plouffe, Eduardo Escobar, Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, the infielders, with Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
Yeah, Phil Hughes going after win number 16. Max Scherzer and Jarrett Weaver, both in the American League, have 16 wins.
Hughes delivers low to Alexei Ramirez.
And what we have seen, when he misses ball 1, he comes right back with a strike. And Ramirez kind of backed away right off the get-go.
Squaring to bunt both times, and now it's 2-0. Squaring again, and there's a called strike. Second pitch was right at the belt.
Use a strike thrower.
And now 3-1.
Phil's only walked 15 batters, 1 intentional in 188 innings pitched.
On the ground, skittering over to Dozier. 2 down. And that'll bring up Jose Abreu. It's simply put been a year for the Twins where they're 1 for 2 with free agent pitchers. Phil Hughes has been everything he could have, the Twins could have hoped for and more. And of course, Ricky Nolasco's been just the opposite. Talking with Cubs assistant general manager and former Twin Randy Bush, who put it pretty succinctly yesterday. He said, you know, I think most people in baseball thought that if anybody was going to put up the numbers Hughes would put up, of the two, people would have thought Nolasco would put up these types of numbers, and that Hughes might be the questionable free agent signing. And of course, it's been just the opposite. 1 strike to Jose Abreu, fouled away.
Abreu having a great year in his rookie season since coming over from Cuba. Made the All-Star team this year.
Oh, 2 from Hughes to Abreu. Suzuki blocks it.
We kind of touched on it the other day about Abreu. You know, he's sitting at 99 runs batted in, and you know, in Cuba, 90 games is their schedule. And talked to some White Sox people, and they say Abreu himself has said that he's tired. You know, he's playing 150 some games. This is all new to him. But what a year he's having.
And he strikes out. A good inning for Phil Hughes as he sets the White Sox down 1-2-3.
Chicago between the Twins and White Sox. Kenny's Vargas stepping to the plate right now, and he's become good friends with David Ortiz over the last year or so, really sees him as his mentor. And when they were hanging out during spring training, Ortiz presented him with a challenge. Hit 25 home runs this year, and I'll get you a necklace that says Big Papi 2 on it. Well, guess what? Vargas hit 17 home runs in Double-A New Britain and has 7 since coming up to the big leagues. That is a grand total of 24 home runs, so 1 shy of that milestone. He told me that he texted Big Papi recently and said, hey, I'm almost there. So he'll have a few opportunities in a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark this weekend, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. That's great California math. 17 plus 7 is 24. That's awesome.
That's Minnesota high school math at its finest from Jamie.
But you got to think now, David.
Of course, she went to college in California.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. But you know what? You think David Ortiz, when he made the bet, he didn't anticipate that Vargas was going to get to the big leagues. He started in Double-A at 17 there. So I think in the big leagues, I mean, my goodness, that he's here. I think it should be 2 to every home run. So he has a total of 14. Plus the 17 is, hold on a second, that's like 31.
That ought to be a necklace and a bracelet to match or something like that. 2 strikes to Vargas. And a strikeout. Pitch in the dirt. Flowers with a quick tag, 1 away.
Strikeout number 2 for Quintana. There's that heartbreaking ball right there, down and in. I think what we've seen from Vargas and Santana, those are the pitches that they strike out on, is that heartbreaking ball down and in from either side of the plate.
Trevor Plouffe, the batter. And at the knee, strike 1.
Plouffe leading the club with 73 runs batted in.
A little work to do for Trevor, but he'd like to have 80 or more runs batted in.
I'd like to see him get over 250 too, as far as the batting average. He's hitting at 248.
Inside. Last time the Twins were here, it was early August, and they scored 32 runs in the 3 games. Quintana started one of those games, and in a nutshell, his game against the Twins wrapped to third. Nice stop at third by Gillespie, and he comes up to throw him out at first. Good play on Plouffe's hot smash down the third base line.
Yeah, maybe taking another double away from Trevor Plouffe. Gillespie kind of diving to his right, makes a nice grab. See, playing off the line, ball hit sharply. Gillespie gets it, throw across the diamond, a little high, but Wilkins catches it for the second out.
2 down, and that'll bring up Arcia. Let's say, in a nutshell, Quintana's start against the Twins on August 3rd kind of symbolizes his whole frustration in terms of getting wins and how irrelevant his 1-loss record is. There's a foul off of Arcia. When Quintana pitched against the Twins here in the final game of the series in early August, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run unearned. He left the ball game, and then the Twins ended up scoring 15 runs against the Chicago bullpen.
Yeah, when Quintana has been on the mound, I mean, in his 10 losses, he's received only 20 runs of support.
That's hit well to left field, retreating short of the track. A catch made by the left fielder Danks, and the Twins go down 1-2-3. You're watching the Twins and White Sox, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. North is brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. No score. Phil Hughes had a 1-2-3 first inning. He'll face Gillespie, Garcia, and Danks in the second. With the edge in the season series against the White Sox. Needing to win just one of the games here this weekend to clinch the season series. But beyond that, a challenge for the Twins. They have not won a series since their series in Houston a month ago. Foul back. There's no secret as to why this team has dropped in the standings and now finds itself 22 games below 500. They at best won one game a series.
Yeah, they've been scoring a lot of runs, but the pitching staff, an ERA well over 5 as far as the starters. Phil Hughes has been definitely the bright spot in that starting rotation.
One and two to Connor Gillespie. Breaking ball down and in. Hughes now with 188 and 2/3 innings. He seems a lot to break the 200 innings pitched marker.
Yeah, it will be the first time for Phil Hughes, a career high 191 innings pitched a couple years ago for the Yankees.
Swing and a miss. He just reared back and put a fastball past him. One down.
And strikeout number 2 for Hughes. Well, the shadows will be coming and creeping in, but you can see Suzuki in the shadows.
Today's cold hard fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Fewest walks per 9 innings for the Twins. And for Major League Baseball, you can see Silva, the former Twin, and impressive year a few years ago.
Yeah, that back in 2005. He made 27 starts, 188 and a third innings for Silva. He walked only 9 batters and 2 intentional. Think about that. That's 7 walks in 188 and a third innings.
1 strike to Garcia, fouling the first pitch back. Oh, and 2.
It's not a overpowering fastball, but it's a fastball that's almost sneaky fast from Phil Hughes.
Heard that term for a long time. I know our viewers have as well. 0 and 2. And I think what that means is there's something about his delivery, conceals the ball or wherever, where 93 seems like 97. Is that a nice summation?
Yeah, he hides the ball well. Kind of not a long arm as far as releasing the ball, kind of a short armor, but right there, just kind of flipping that ball toward home plate.
1 and 2.
7 seasons he wore a Yankees uniform. Now wearing the Twins uniform. A couple more years after this on his contract. And Nolasco has 3 more years, so they're hoping that this is just an off year for Nolasco.
Fouled away.
Because he and Nolasco and also Gibson, those are the main 3 guys that Twins have to look at during the winter of being the aces of the ball club. They have to build their starting staff around those 3 guys.
1 and 2 to Garcia. Another name that is on the list of potential candidates for the rest of the rotation, Tommy Milone, who was supposed to pitch here today. Came up with a stiff neck, and so they moved him back to Monday. Now today, Milone had a bullpen session, and it didn't go well. His neck is still bothering him, so he's been scratched on Monday. So we're going to miss, and another strikeout for Hughes on another fastball.
Strikeout number 3.
Now's your chance. You can tweet your photo using #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. 2 gone. Jordan Danks, the batter.
Danks getting a chance to play here. Third stint with the White Sox this year.
A lot of swings and misses on Hughes' 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Foul tip again at 93. And he's just been using the fastball. We haven't seen him use the cutter much yet today.
No, not the cutter. He's throwing more fastballs, curveballs. See the shadows again creeping in.
Probably not an issue now. I would think it would be more of an issue once the shadow creeps out on the mound.
Pitchers get the blow on their hands because of the cool afternoon. Little breeze here, not much. That looked like the cutter right there that just missed, maybe low.
Hughes thought he had a strike. Angel Hernandez disagreed. 2-2. Three and two. Second 3-ball count for Hughes, and for him that's almost like a walk itself. And Hughes with a rare walk, a 2-out walk to Jordan Danks. They'll bring up Tyler Flowers. I think ball 2 he thought was a strike. The other 2 weren't potential strikes at all. Here's Flowers.
Yeah, that's the first walk by Hughes in his last since August 10th in Oakland, where he walked 1. So a rare walk by Phil Hughes.
Swing and a miss. 1 strike. Flowers had a big night here the other day against Oakland. Game-tying home run, then a game-winning home run. He's been that kind of a hitter. I mean, the Twins saw his power when they were last at Target Field. 14 home runs, 47 runs batted in, and see in the last 7 games he's done very well. He started out swinging the bat really well. It's been the middle 4 months, I guess, that have been the issue for Tyler Flowers.
Yeah, he's not going to hit high average. He is hitting .243, which is high for him. He came in, this is his 6th season with the White Sox, kind of a backup catcher to A.J. Pierzynski for many years, but came into this year a career 200 hitter.
.92-mile-per-hour fastball getting a swing and a miss. We see so much of the Central, but I think with Flowers and the numbers he's put up behind the plate, I think the American League Central might have the best set of 5 everyday catchers in baseball. Salvador Perez, to me, is the best catcher in the game right now. We don't get to see Yadi or Molina, but in terms of what he does both behind the plate and at it, and you've got Yan Gomes, who's put together a very good year again. Hughes says, the heck with the other stuff.
Alex Avila.
With his fastball, Hughes finally puts an end to the 2nd inning. race, but the Marlins were trying to hang in there until this happened to Giancarlo Stanton. Stepped into a Mike Fiers pitch and got hit right below the left eye.
Yeah, ugly situation right there. And Stanton, thank goodness, is okay. I mean, he had some lacerations fixed, but no surgery required. A little bit of dental damage.
Some teeth replaced and some plastic surgery because of the laceration. Released from the hospital, and they say he's one of the toughest characters around, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him come back, get an at-bat or two, or maybe even a couple of games worth, just to restore his peace of mind going forward into the offseason.
Yeah, he definitely has MVP type numbers for the National League with the numbers he's put up.
Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, and Aaron Hicks will face Jose Quintana here in the third. Down and in, 1-1. Who's your Twins MVP? I'll tip my hand because mine is standing in the box with it.
Well, mine might be on the mound and Phil Hughes.
Yeah.
But you know what? The MVP, I think, should go to an everyday player.
League-wide, too?
Yes.
Really? Okay. 2-1 to Suzuki.
Yeah, you know, pitchers have the Cy Young Award. Everyday players are out there every day. This guy would get some votes too, Kurt Suzuki.
2-2.
Your feeling on a pitcher getting the MVP award?
You know, years ago when Pedro Martinez had such a dominant season, to me, I think he was the MVP of that year. Here's the ball rifled to left, and Suzuki has a base hit. Second hit for the Twins. This one a leadoff hit. Bauer had a 2-out single in the first. Now it's, you know, most valuable, which to me means he's responsible for enough wins to maybe project his team forward into contention. So in terms of league-wide, and I think if a pitcher does that, if a pitcher is as dominant as Pedro Martinez was, well,
or Justin Verlander,
right, or a closer, Willie Hernandez won it back in '84. Here's Escobar. Now the Cy Young is different for me. I don't, you know, a guy can win a Cy Young award on a losing team. And for that reason, I think Chris Sale should get some serious consideration this year.
I was going to mention his name. He's having a great year for the White Sox.
One strike to Escobar. Oh my, inside corner called, and it's 0-2.
Escobar kind of looking at Angel Hernandez.
That looked like it nearly hit his back leg.
Questioning that call. So this is your MVP right here?
I think the second pitch was. That was called a strike. 0-2. And a half swing. And Escobar will tell you they had the at-bat taken away from me. 1 down.
Quintana picking up his third strikeout.
There'll be 9 games left at Target Field when we open up a homestand Monday night. Finish it in style. Suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 96. Choose from Premier Suites, the flexible event suites, or the very spacious Skyline Suites. TwinsBaseball.com or 833-TWINS, the numbers to call. Here's Aaron Hicks.
I'll go back to my question. You think Escobar is the MVP?
No.
Oh.
No. Kurt Suzuki.
Oh, okay, because you said he was on the on-deck.
Oh, did I? Oh, I meant in the batter's box.
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry. I meant Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now we're going to be on for at least 18 innings today. And that will be the first of many mistakes I'll make over the course of the day.
Welcome to my club.
2 strikes now to Hicks. He's trying to take advantage of the leadoff single from Kurt Suzuki. No, Escobar's had a fine year, and I think in some respects a breakout season for him. You know, if you're a utility player, you might not particularly care for that label, and you want the opportunity to prove that you're more than that. I'm so sure that Escobar hasn't delayed the plans the Twins made, tentative though they might be, to just have Danny Santana be their shortstop next year. Yeah, swing, and Hicks is out, 2 down. And we've seen a couple of strike threes here that might suggest that it is hard to pick up the baseball. Escobar with kind of a half-hearted swing, and now a check swing from Hicks. This October, history will be made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network. Fox Sports 1 is your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series, and it all begins in October. Danny Santana struck out his first time. Chopped to the right side. Sanchez makes the play. Suzuki left at first after his leadoff single.
Let's talk about Phil Hughes a little bit. What he brings every time out so far. Only 1 walk, and that's incredible right there. Normally doesn't walk anybody. 4 strikeouts in 2 shutout innings. Utilizing that fastball a lot so far, and then that curveball. Hughes the only starter for the Twins that they have a winning record when he starts a ball game. They are 18-11. The Twins are when Hughes starts a ball game.
You know, we had the Kyle Gibson start in Cleveland. It wasn't a very good one. Wilkins leading off. Sanchez will hit next. And then Eaton. And I don't think, despite that start and some others, that Gibson's season will be declared anything other than a success. He looks like he belongs up here. That couldn't be said about him last year. Looks like he's going to continue to improve and be a solid pitcher. But he's had those starts where it's been 3 innings or less, 5 of them, and in essence really didn't give the Twins a chance to win a ball game. Hughes has had none of those. The only time he's been taken out before 5 innings was when he faced the White Sox and got smoked by an Adam Dunn line drive.
Right. Strikeout number 5 for Hughes. His first call strike 3 strikeout. Wilkins playing in just his 9th major league game. A little cutter working down and away. Pitcher's pitch.
Hughes has had some disappointing starts. He had one really good one against the Yankees, and then the one at home wasn't very good at all. 7 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings. But in terms of, stressing the bullpen and coming out after 2 or 3 innings. He hasn't had any of those except when he got injured.
Well, we talked about his last 7 starts at the top of the show. 50 innings in those last 7 starts. So averaging over 7
finds it. Hughes to the bag, safe at first. And time called. No look into the Twins dugout. Mauer dropped the ball, and that messed up the timing a little bit. See whether it's ruled a hit or an error.
Well, Hughes, your responsibility as a pitcher, get over there, which he's doing, but now he's trying to find the ball and the bag at the same time, and never does get to the bag as Sanchez touches the bag before Hughes could finally. And expecting a throw, too, about chest high. We'll see how they rule it.
Ruled an error.
Yep.
Joe Mauer.
Only Joe's second error of the season at first base.
And now Eaton with a man aboard. Fouled back. Well, we've seen a lot of swings and misses and a lot of fouls to the screen. Hughes is especially deceptive here today, and maybe the shadows now becoming a factor.
You know, I think what's made him effective too, he has that fastball about letter high, and hitters just get underneath it just a little bit.
Another foul ball.
They feel they're on it, but that ball has a little giddy up on it, and he's a guy that can pitch up in the strike zone. Then he'll throw that little cutter down and away like he did to Wilkins to pick up the strikeout. Got the big curveball.
It's different, too, if you throw it up there at 93 as opposed to 90. That little extra hop or zip on it can make the difference between the ball getting plastered or fouled back.
And I think what we've seen from Phil, too, this year is that he's been able to maintain that velocity into the 6th and 7th inning.
And a call, third strike. And Eaton doesn't believe it.
Strikeout number 6 for Hughes.
Angel Hernandez's strike zone, I think, is all over the place here today. 2 down.
Angel Hernandez, this is his 22nd year as an umpire. And see what Foxtrack says. It caught the black. He's swinging a bat, boys.
Last 6 outs for Hughes have come on strikeouts. Here's Ramirez with 2 down.
He's swinging a bat, boys.
A 2-run home run. The first Chicago hit. Drives in a couple of runs. 15th home run for Ramirez. That leads all American League shortstops.
And his 4th home run hit against the Twins this year. And the 15th home run that Phil Hughes has allowed. And it's a 2-run home run, giving the White Sox a 2-0 lead.
Of the error, there'll be unearned runs, but runs nonetheless.
Yeah, fastball, middle in. Ramirez right on top of that plate, very quick inside, and hits a line drive home run into the bullpen of the White Sox.
Here's Abreu. He tries one to the right field corner. A couple of first pitches whacked pretty hard for base hits. Abreu will glide into second base with a double.
Well, not surprising that they will jump on the first pitch, because we've seen the first 3 innings, especially the first 2, Phil just going right at him, which he does. Both of them on fastballs. Again, Phil Hughes to Abreu. Fastball away. Abreu taking it the other way down that right field line. His 34th double of the year. Gets into scoring position with 2 outs.
Here's Gillespie. If the Twins are going to catch and pass the White Sox and get out of the basement, they're almost certainly going to have to at least win this series. Pick up a game. They'd still have to make up 3 games with 2 weeks to go. No more games against the White Sox. Inside now 2-0. top of the division. It was a kind of a swing day yesterday with the Tigers winning and the Royals losing. Now Detroit's back on top for the first time in about a month. Kansas City's defense. Every time we've had a series with the Royals, we've talked about how great their defense is. Now they've made 20 errors in the last 16 games.
There's a central look right there with Kansas City a half a game behind the Tigers now. And Cleveland still in there.
Tip, strike 2. Big game for the Indians. They lost last night to the Tigers. Can ill afford to lose that series. Royals losing back-to-back games now because of some poor infield defense. Popped up near third. Plouffe retrieving and making the catch. A foul ball catch. The damage done. A 2-run home run by Alexei Ramirez, and it's 2-0 Chicago. Chrysler Road ahead. Another game here tomorrow, and then a nice, well, I'll say a long homestand. How nice it is depends on how well the Twins play, because they've not done well at home again, but an impactful series against the Tigers and Indians, and then the Diamondbacks, and then back on the road to Detroit.
Well, you can see 7 games against the Tigers, so Twins, you kind of want to maybe say something, help the Kansas City Royals out. Remember, as the Royals, I believe, what was it, 2009 that helped the Twins out?
Yeah. The White Sox actually beat the Tigers 2 out of 3, or swept them, when the Twins came back and forced game 1 63. It was the White Sox in Detroit doing the Twins a favor, but then it was the Royals in 2006 that beat Detroit and allowed the Twins to win the championship rather than enter the playoffs as a wild card. 1-1 to Dozier. Dozier with a fly to center his first time up. Hit the ball fairly well to the gap in left center. 2-1.
Important inning for Quintana that has not had a lot of run support to put a 0 on the board.
Swing and a miss, 2-2.
7 wins, 10 losses, but 23 times in 29 starts this year, he's allowed 3 earned runs or less in an outing. Very consistent.
3-2. Dozier hoping to get a board here. Twins find themselves behind now, 2-0. Strikeout. One down.
Strikeout number 5 in the ball game for Quintana.
A couple of Wednesday night games coming up, September 17th and the 24th in the home schedule. Rasmussen College again sponsoring student night. Standing room only tickets, just $5. Student tickets are available day of game only at the Target Field box office. Limit 1 ticket per student with a valid student ID. None of that fake stuff from any school in Twins territory. Here's Bauer, single to left his first time up, now 9 for 19 against Quintana. The White Sox have gotten better starting pitching. The Twins have gotten better relief pitching. But the White Sox have gone about their business in their rotation with the opposite polarity of the Twins. The Twins really have not had a regular left-handed starter all year long, and most of Chicago's rotation is left-handed. You've got Quintana, Sale, and Danks all taking regular turns for Chicago.
Don Cooper, the pitching coach.
2-0 to Bauer. Left field to the corner. Danks chasing it. Jordan Danks with the catch. A well-hit ball for out number 2. And that'll bring up Kenny Vargas.
Well, we have seen Joe hit so many balls there that now the defense of any club that the Twins play with Joe Mauer at the plate, they shade him down that left field line. Garcia out right, really shading him toward right center.
In most cases, you hear the crack of the bat, you see a line drive heading to the corner, and it's really nothing more than a lazy fly to center field because there's somebody standing there. Here's Vargas, struck out quickly to lead off the second. Fox Tracks brought to you by Ram. A high fly to center field. And Eaton with the catch, a quick 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Betcher and Spence. Sports North is presented by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. And it won't be long before we'll need that all-wheel drive.
You will.
Somebody told me that Rapid City got more than a foot of snow the other day.
Yeah. Montana getting snow.
It's September, for crying out loud.
Get your snowmobiles out. Snowmobiles.
Avisail Garcia taking low, ball one. He struck out swinging against Hughes. Hughes has 6 strikeouts. This is where I would think, and I think Roy Smalley, when I asked him, he confirmed that this is where the shadows really become a problem, because you've got the batter's eye, the backdrop illuminated, and the ball is never visible in the light you're looking into. If I'm paraphrasing Roy, but I think that's the point he was trying to make.
Yeah, hitters complain about hitting in afternoons like this. You know, it's tough to pick up the rotation of that ball.
You're the hitter. You're Garcia. You're looking out at the green ivy and the green roof and the batter's eye out there, and it's brightly lit. And a guy throws something that spins, and you can't see it.
And Hughes picking up strikeout number 7. A season high 9 strikeouts a couple times for Phil. He's on a great pace here to better that. Good tight rotation.
Garcia missed it by a foot. One down, and here's Danks. Now, Danks may hit one 500 feet in this at bat, but I can guarantee you Phil Hughes is going to throw him strikes because he walked him. After getting ahead 0-2, he ended up walking him with 2 outs in the second. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because Hughes had that incredible at-bat string without a walk. Swing, strike 2. And he walked 2 batters in his start in New York on June 1st, but he walked the same guy twice, Brian McCann. One and 2. High fly to center. And Santana, through his sunglasses, makes the catch. Out number 2. Join Fox Sports North and the Minnesota Wild for the breakaway 10K, 5K, and 1 mile run Saturday, September 20th. Which one would you like to tackle, the 10K, 5K, or the 1 mile run?
I'll go 10K.
It benefits the Minnesota Wild Foundation. You have to do it kind of nonstop, you know. All participants receive a T-shirt and a pre-sale opportunity to purchase Wild single-game tickets. For more information, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the More tab for details.
Yeah, believe it or not, during the winter when I was in shape and a player, I used to run 10Ks during the wintertime in California.
What happened?
I don't know. Bad hip. Can't run
you
anymore.
Had that replaced.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll try it again. It'll be a walk, a 10K, 6.2 miles.
2 strikes to Flowers. He struck out swinging in the second.
You ever run in a 5K or a 10K?
And this was back when I was in shape. I got up to like 4 miles at a time, which is, that's about 10K, isn't it?
Well, 6.2 miles is a 10K.
Like I said, it's
It's
close to a 10K.
Yeah, real close.
Speaking of Ks, number 8 for Hughes.
Your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Sitting in the shade, covering his ears.
Keeping his ears warm.
Forward to ice fishing season.
Got to buy a bucket, don't you?
Plouffe will lead off the fifth. They're down a couple of runs. Arcia and Suzuki will follow. Plouffe made a bid for an extra base hit, hit a hard two-hop smash near the third base bag, but Gillespie backhanded it and threw him out. Strike at the knees.
Quintana throwing strikes, first pitch strikes. 14 batters, now 15 batters, 13 first pitch strikes.
1-1. Twins scoring a lot of runs when they were here last. 32 runs in 3 games. Most of that done against the Chicago bullpen. Quintana looking like he's not going to surrender the ball for a while. 1-2. Second doubleheader in 3 days for the Twins. Expect to see a vastly different lineup for both teams in the nightcap. Checked his swing 2-2. Roughly 3 baseball games in 26 hours is what this will amount to, with a day game tomorrow. Full count. Arcia on deck.
No walks for Quintana yet. 5 strikeouts. He's given up 2 singles.
And a walk to lead off the 5th inning. A rare walk from Quintana, and now Arcia will bat.
Yeah, he's averaged about 3 walks per 9 innings.
It's kind of the standard, isn't it? I mean, if you're right at 3, that's about where you'd want to be.
Yeah, 51 walks in about 181 innings pitched now.
Arcia hit a liner to left his first time up, caught by Jordan Banks. Swing and a miss. Arcia tried to tie it up. 1 strike. Arcia last year struck out 1 every 3 at bats. And this year his strikeout rate's actually up a little bit over that. 110 strikeouts, 321 at bats.
Yeah, this is game number 90 for Arcia to play for the Twins
in the big leagues.
Yeah, last year 97 games he played in.
1-2. .72 hits, 34 extra base hits. There's an outside chance at 20 home runs this year. Left and down for a hit. So the hard work, we've talked so much about it. And Arcia lined a ball to left field for an out in the second inning, and now he hits one that way for a base hit. You like a little positive reinforcement if you're going to try to hit the ball hard the other way.
Yeah, Tom Bernansky has to be very happy at those 2 swings right there, just because they seem to be more under control. Even that fly ball in his first at bat, just taking the ball hard the other way, and it was Danks that caught that ball at the warning track.
And that it happened with 2 strikes in this at bat, even more good vibe coming out of the at bat. Here's Suzuki. Singled his first time up, never budged from first base. It was a leadoff single in the 3rd. And Quintana went to work striking out Escobar and Hicks and getting Santana on a ground ball.
The defense of the White Sox looking for maybe the possible bunt. Middle infielders playing about halfway. Both corner infielders even with the bag. I think Kurt's going to be bunting here.
One strike. Checked his swing. Oh my. I don't think he swung at that any more than I did.
Ben May at first base will call up umpire saying that he went too far.
No, he did not. 0-2 to Suzuki. Flowers with a block. 1-2. Get a good start to this inning here with a walk and a single, trying to make something of it here. And now 2-2. Pop-up. Wilkins chasing it. And play that very well.
Well, you got that little railing that shoots out right there where the camera crew is. Kind of went into that corner and that ball hit in that area. You kind of made contact with that corner of the railing.
Bit of a reprieve here for Suzuki. Another swing at least. 2-2. And a strikeout. One down.
Strikeout number 6.
We'll bring up Escobar. Fan Appreciation Weekend coming up next weekend. Twins will take on the Cleveland Indians, and fans in attendance can win all kinds of great prizes and gifts on Friday and Saturday. And on Sunday, the 21st, the first 10,000 kids 14 and under will get a Joe Bauer growth chart. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS for information and tickets. Here is Escobar. Struck out his first time up. Taken low, ball 1. His numbers suggest he doesn't give many scoring opportunities up, and here the Twins have built one in the 5th, needing to take advantage of it. Kloof at second, Arcia at first. Foul back, and it's 1-1. Escobar, a better right-handed batter than left in this, call it a breakout season. Over 400 at bats, and he's hitting .314 coming into the game right-handed, .256 left-handed. surprise is all the doubles, 34 doubles, and just over 400 at bats. Twins could use one here.
Yes, they could.
That's down the line. Foul, says third base ump Larry Vanover. Nearly got that double right over the third base bag.
Didn't miss by much right there. Vanover kind of straddling the line at third baseline. Looking at that ball, did it go over the third base bag or to the foul side? And he said it went to the foul side. So pulling this ball down that third baseline.
Down the line,
So
you take a
give us
look.
Better look, yeah. See the shadows there, hard tough to see.
1-2 to Escobar. Hicks to follow. Foul in the dirt. No foul tip. It was a pitch in the dirt. Escobar strikes out for the second time.
Strikeout number 7 for Quintana. A couple times this year he had 2 games where he struck out 10. Ball landing in front of the plate. Flowers smothering it, but Escobar strikes out for the second time.
The Twins are going to make anything of this rally in the 5th. Hicks is going to have to get it done. He struck out on a check swing in the 3rd. Strike on the outside corner. If anything, Hicks has made baby steps since his call-up in September. He's raised the average a few points, but he now has 152 at-bats and only 7 extra base hits, 6 doubles and a home run.
I think the Twins have just seen small spurts of what he's maybe capable of doing.
He just is so athletic. He runs well. He looks like, if it all comes together for him, he's going to be a 40 doubles a year guy, 15 to 20 home runs, and mix in a few triples, but he's not there yet. The Twins are hoping that he could just continue to have a good approach. He's always been a better right-handed batter than left. 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2.
I think one thing we have seen since its recall is that most of his hits have been more the middle part of the diamond.
Big, strong man, and he ought to be able to drive the ball and have a good slugging percentage if it all comes together for him. 1-2. Two and two. Santana hoping for a chance. And sending 5 men to the plate here in the inning, but a walk and a single to start the inning, then a couple of strikeouts. Just outside, a check swing, 3-2. Quintana thought he had strike 3.
Well, we've seen Hernandez call this pitch outside, and Foxtrack says that clipped the corner. Quintana took a couple steps toward their dugout.
Runners will be able to take off now on 3-2. And a breaking ball. A called third strike. And the Twins leave 2 aboard. You're watching the Twins and White Sox, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. saw some deep dish pizza in that little montage. Our Mountain Dew kickstart fans of the game, hoping the Twins can come back from a 2-0 deficit. You a deep dish pizza guy, Chicago?
No, I like the thin crust.
Do you
actually.
really?
More of a thin crust. Do you like the deep?
I like both. A lot. Too much. But I had some deep dish yesterday. Since the game was postponed, I figure, all right, Friday night in Chicago, what am I going to do? So it included deep dish pizza. Andy Wilkins taking strike one. A foul ball, strike two.
Yeah, Wilkins getting some at-bats here. Just his 9th major league game, getting called up on August 31st from AAA Charlotte, where he had a very good year. Hit 30 home runs, drove in 85 runs in 127 games. 5 minor league seasons, and a lot of minor league home runs.
Another one fouled to the screen.
Wilkins just 25 years old, out of the University of Arkansas, signed by the White Sox in 2010.
One and two.
Phil right there tried that little backdoor curveball. 64 pitches for Phil. Starting his 5th inning of work.
And a foul pop back into the seats. On the ground, headed up the middle. Nice pickoff by Escobar. What a play by Eduardo Escobar.
Showing off some great range right there. Escobar making a nice play. Ball going up the middle and stealing a base hit away from Wilkins. Right back up the middle. You see Escobar's reaction. Little spin around move. And then a nice throw over to Mauer for the first out.
Carlos Sanchez to the plate. Reached on a Joe Mauer error. And then the very he struck out, and then Ramirez hit a 2-run home run. Both runs on the board, unearned runs, and Hughes gets ahead of him 1 strike. One and one.
The White Sox trading Gordon Beckham to the Angels, so that kind of opened up second base, and Sanchez gets an opportunity to show if he can hit at the major league level. He's a switch hitter. Young man, only 22 years old, out of Venezuela.
We saw the Angels for 4 games in the last homestand. Beckham isn't playing at all for them.
He played a little third base when he first got traded over there. But Freese swinging a good bat.
You think, okay, that's a good move by the Angels. A veteran infielder might play around the infield a little bit, not just second base. But I'll be interested if he even makes their playoff roster. 1 and 2. There is strikeout number 9 for Phil Hughes.
That ties a season high for Phil Hughes. Twice this year, now 3 times he's had 9 strikeouts.
So obviously he hasn't had 10 strikeouts, but no Twins starters had 10 strikeouts in more than 2 years. Let's see if he can get it done here by striking out 8. He's got it once. Looking.
Phil's high in strikeouts, 10 strikeouts, and that came against the Twins back in New York last year. He's done it twice.
Ball 1 to Eaton. Chop to Mauer. He'll go to the bag, and Hughes has a 1-2-3. 5th inning. 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. It's just that this series got started a day late. We were supposed to play game 1 of this series last night. It got rained out. This is technically Friday's game. And then we've got Saturday's game about a half hour after the completion of this game. Santana will lead things off for the Twins in the 6th. Dozier and Mauer will follow. Strike 1. So the pattern for the Twins here at a day game or a regular game, when was that, Tuesday in Cleveland. Then a rain out, then a doubleheader, then a rain out, and a doubleheader. We could do that all year long and only play 81 days. You have a day off, you play 2, you have a split doubleheader, and so you can have 2 gates, 2 different attendances.
Be like a basketball season.
You like that idea?
Sure, why not?
You're not playing anymore. You don't care.
No. Get to sit here and call the game and watch the game I love. Just twice in one day.
Yeah. 1-2 to Danny Santana. 2-2. Dozier again will follow, then Mauer. Twins had a threat started in the 5th against Quintana with a walk and a single to start the inning, but then he struck out the side.
Quintana last inning threw 26 pitches.
3-2. It was a leadoff walk in the 5th that got a rally started, even though the Twins couldn't finish it. Spun back over the screen. Just think how the Twins project forward to opening day next year and how different it will be from what they were imagining would happen this year, or what it was in reality. Santana strikes out on a fastball, 1 down.
And strikeout number 9 in a ball game. Both starters, a lot of strikeouts. Hughes with 9 strikeouts. Quintana now picking up his 9th.
1 down. Now look at our AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto, and a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. How do you get a blue tongue?
Ice cream.
Snow cone or whatever they call them these days.
I take my granddaughters down to right there Fort Myers Beach, and they have the ice cream that they like. It's kind of like a rainbow, has a lot of blue in it.
What flavor is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Blueberry, I suppose?
Might be.
2 quick strikes to Dozier.
Yeah, that ball must really be hard to pick up. A lot of strikeouts. 18 strikeouts so far. Combined both pitchers.
One and two. Swing just off the plate, 2-2. Pitches for Quintana. Number 10. And the last 5 outs have come on strikeouts ever since Arcia got his opposite field single.
Yeah, Quintana 10 strikeouts. 3rd time this season he's had a 10 strikeout game. A career high 11 strikeouts. Came last year against the Orioles.
Thankfully, both pitchers are right around the plate, but if they're having a hard time swinging and hitting the ball, you can imagine how tough it would be up there if one got away from the pitcher.
I'll tell you what, Quintana here is doing a Phil Hughes. He's now faced 21 batters, 19 he has thrown a first pitch strike.
Strike to Mauer.
So working ahead in the count.
Now low, 1-1. Twins players have talked about the difficulty with a mid-afternoon start, regardless of the time of the year, for the very reason of the shadows creeping out beyond the mound and the batter's eye illuminated. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. So we have that in place here now. And probably not a coincidence that both starting pitchers appear destined for a season high in strikeouts. Five strikeouts in a row, 4 of them swinging strikeouts. Hicks was caught looking at a curveball. Two and two. Just missing, and Quintana again with a step toward his dugout. He thought he might have hit the corner. Full count to Mauer. Vargas on deck. Six straight strikeouts for Jose Quintana, and he comes off the mound with a 2-0 lead. Toyota, the annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Your McDonald's has 5 extra value meals under $5, including the Big Mac at participating locations. Alexei Ramirez with a 2-run home run after a Twins error in the third, the only scoring so far. Phil Hughes with 9 strikeouts, and he bends a breaking ball over, strike 1.
Yeah, Ramirez now at 99 career home runs, 17 hit off the Twins.
To center off the end of the bat, and Santana with the catch, 1 away. Running trivia here in the 6th inning, like they're trying to bring down our perfect record. We don't have a whole lot of time here. Here's the question, with the answer probably coming up after this at bat. Who was the last White Sox rookie with at least 35 home runs and 100 RBI in a season? That's a lot of home runs and a lot of RBIs
for a rookie.
Ron Kittle was a Rookie of the Year winner in 1983, and I don't remember him hitting that many home runs, but I don't remember anybody before him. You know, in the old ballpark, the other Comiskey Park, it's right across the street here, that wasn't much of a home run hitter's ballpark. But yet Kittle won the Rookie of the Year award at that old ballpark. 2 strikes to Abreu. And a ball.
And that's what they have been doing to Abreu. A lot of breaking balls when they get ahead in the count. Hughes struck him out in his first at bat on a curveball away.
Bounced wide of third. That's a fair ball right over the bag. Abreu, who doubled to right in his first at bat, will pull one down the left field line for another double.
Yeah, they tried to go inside, and Abreu opened up quickly and hit it right down that third base line.
We'll bring Gillespie to the plate.
Yeah, Trevor playing him off the line. The ball just kind of hung right there. Tried that little cutter inside, but Abreu hitting the barrel of the bat out.
See Abreu with some pretty impressive numbers for someone who didn't come close to playing Major League Baseball before this year.
Look at the slugging percentage right there.
Here is Gillespie, a strikeout and a foul out. Up and away, ball 1. Because the Twins not only are having 3 games played in about 25 hours, but they've got some inexperienced pitchers going. Logan Darnell will go in the nightcap here today, and then Trevor May will be going tomorrow. Twins really need Hughes to give them every inning and out he can give them.
Well, he's been good for that all season long.
80 pitches. We expect him to pitch at least 100 pitches here today. Trying to pitch around this 1-out double. Up near second base. Dozier with the catch, 2 down. Bring up Garcia. 2015 Twins schedule is out. We've already had a chance to look at it. Now to renew your season tickets or become a new member of the season ticket family. Interleague visitors include the Brewers, Cubs, the Cardinals. We're pretty heavy in American League Central teams early in the season, which is something that is preferred. 833 Twins or twinsbaseball.com. You can find out more about the 2015 schedule. Ron Gardenhire's mentioned that a couple of times regarding next year's schedule, that it's pretty heavy inside the American League Central, and that's preferred. But the problem is you have 5 teams in the division. So one team is always going to do what the Twins have had to do, it seems like, the last few years, or most of them. Play a lot of games outside the division. 2-0. Twins will open next year where this year ends in Detroit.
And that'll be 206 days away, because that is April 6th. Very special day for the Twins.
It's opening day, of course.
Yes, it is.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. What birthday will it be for you on April 6th?
It will be number 64 already. Wow. No.
2-1 to Avisail Garcia.
Garcia has a couple strikeouts against Hughes.
Well, to right field. Garcia retires Garcia. And that ends the 6th inning.
Quintana with 11 strikeouts. That ties a career high for him. And Phil Hughes trying to match him. The only mistake, the 2-run home run to Ramirez. After the Mauer error, Ramirez taking advantage of that extra out and hitting a home run, his 15th of the year. So both pitchers, as you can see, a lot of strikeouts. 20 so far by my California math. 11 plus 9 is 20.
Very good.
Thank you.
There's Kenny Vargas. He struck out once, and he takes strike one. Hit a fly ball to center his next time up. Vargas, Plouffe, and Arcia, the 4, 5, and 6 batters. On the ground, Ramirez has an easy play. One down. That'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe made a bid for a hit, an extra base hit, but Gillespie made a nice play to retire him in the second, and then Plouffe drew a leadoff walk in the 5th. First pitch strike. Nothing new from Quintana. Approaching 100 pitches. Two strikes. About a month and a half since the Twins were last here in early August. They won that series and have won only one series since. That was in Houston. Just outside, 1-2.
Quintana this year making his 4th start against the Twins. He's now worked 24 1/3 innings. Twins have only scored 4 earned runs off him.
And Plouffe strikes out.
And a career high now is 12 strikeouts for Quintana.
Bring up Arcia. The most popular way to follow September pennant races is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcasts, and the MLB.TV game of the day and more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com.
Arcia, the only Twin that has not struck out against Quintana yet.
He's actually put 2 good swings on Quintana, and he's hit the ball hard each time to left field. Once for an out, once for a single. Fouled away. I guess the most encouraging thing for me is someone who couldn't swing a bat. The hits that he's getting, the at-bats that he's getting, were impossible for him to get with his old swing. When his hips would fly open and it seemed like every pitch he was trying to pull 400 or more feet to right field. You can't have a swing like that and get the hits that he's been getting to the opposite field.
And what Bruno's working on, Tom Bernansky, mainly the hands, where he drops the hands and then, has to bring them back up to make contact with the ball.
The movement of the hands is much less pronounced. 2-2. There's a phrase, a player is a work in progress, and it's nice to see that progress is being made. Another strikeout. Man has picked up 8 strikeouts in the last 3 innings. He's got a 2-0 lead after 6.5.
Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form.
Excuse me, I think it's a fountain.
It's a fountain. And the accounts and descriptions of this game, looks like a waterfall to me.
Oh, the water's falling.
May not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
You know, I ran into a guy by the name of Stu Green here today. He's worked in Chicago in television for about 25 years, and Stu and I worked a long time ago for Spectrum Sports, and it was the first time I got involved with the Twins. Phil Hughes delivering strike one. And we were reminded that back in the Spectrum Sports days, we had the players read the disclaimer. The Twins players, Kent Herbeck did it, Tom Bernansky did it, Frank Viola did it. There's a little flip to left field. And that's a fair ball and will run through the warning track. Danks to second base, and he's in with a bloop double.
I think Escobar wants to appeal right there. He kind of watched that ball, and Larry Vanover is kind of looking in the dugout, wanting Ron Gardenhire to come out.
Phil Hughes being told maybe to wait. Don't step on the rubber because the Twins may take a look at this.
See Escobar kind of watching the flight of the ball, and he kind of went after it like it was a foul ball. See where that ball hit right there. Gardy's on his way out.
Say that MLB now, their preference is for the managers not to have to do this, which has been my recommendation for a long time. It's just burnt calories that don't need to be burnt. So you can see Danks holding up and then deciding to go to second.
Take a look where does it hit the chalk?
It picks up chalk. Yeah.
Yep.
So they won't take a. Well, they are going to take a look at it. We can see white blades of grass flip up in the air. So I think this is going to be upheld. Anyway, just to finish my story, you were part of that Twins team in the 83, 84, 85 era, and somewhere maybe out there somebody has you reading the disclaimer for the very first time. You've done it hundreds of times since.
I probably said, what's this word disseminated mean?
A crew chief review. And they will leave Danks at second with a double.
Yeah, didn't take them long to see that little chalk pop up.
So not a team challenge, but a crew chief review.
Yeah, there have been 4 hits off of Phil Hughes here this afternoon. The 2-run home run by Ramirez, a couple doubles by Abreu, and another double here by Danks. So all 4 hits, extra base hits. Danks picking up just his second double of the year.
And Flowers will hit.
Good job to do, Tyler.
Down and away, ball 1. So if anybody has the Bert Blyleven disclaimer that he read back in the 80s, I'd like that one. I'd also would like Houston Jimenez's disclaimer. And we'll see which one actually makes more sense.
Probably Houston's.
Flowers has struck out twice. It's a half swing and a strike. Both times swinging, each time ending an inning. Flowers here trying to put the ball in play, preferably to the right side to advance the runner.
Twins were unable to do it in the 5th inning with Suzuki up. That's when Quintana started his streak of 6 straight strikeouts.
1 and 2.
Flowers swings at a pitch out of the strike zone. Maybe trying to hit that ball towards second.
First time in more than 2 years, the Twins pitcher has picked up 10 strikeouts in a game. That's a long, long time.
That is a very long time. Fastball away. Flowers strikes out for the 3rd time. And for Phil Hughes, he ties a career high. 3rd time he has had 10 strikeouts in a ball game. Last time a pitcher struck out 10 or more, Francisco Liriano.
July of 2012. 1-0. Liriano's having an okay year for the Pirates. ERA about 3.5. The wins have been hard to come by. Pitched a good ball game the other night.
Yes, he did. Pirates are hanging in there.
2-0. The National League Central.
2.5 games behind the Cardinals.
Game and a half ahead of the Brewers. Brewers now have won 3 straight. It's hit down the right field line, a foul ball into the seats.
The season were to end right now, it'd be the Giants and the Pirates in the wild card.
And in the American League, it'd be Oakland and or Kansas City and Seattle. Right now, Kansas City and Seattle have the same record for the second spot. That's to center, a base hit. Santana charges it. They're going to send the runner around. Santana's throw up the line. Safe. Suzuki with no argument. The throw up the line by 25 feet. And Suzuki had to make the catch and try to reach Jordan Danks, but he couldn't catch him.
And Andrew Wilkins picking up his first major league run batted in. From the barrel of the bat line, drive to center field. Santana comes in, and Danks running. You can see how far that ball is thrown up the line. Kurt Suzuki had to come get it, and Danks had to kind of run out of the baseline to avoid the tag.
See if the throw is on target, he's out by 20 feet.
Good effort right there by Suzuki, but Danks gets that hand over the home plate for the third run of the ball game for the White Sox.
On the second on the throw, the bloop double pays off in a run. Santana with an errant throw. Sanchez, the batter. Two strikes. Wilkins had problems making contact prior to his base hit. Just 2 for 25 with 13 strikeouts. And strikeout number 11. 2 down here in the 7th.
And a new career high in strikeouts for Phil Hughes.
Bring up Adam Eaton. You know, we've been impressed with Eaton. He's a spark plug type of a player. And kind of surprising to me, he's only scored 66 runs. He's the type of player you'd expect, especially with Abreu hitting behind him, that he might be close to hitting 100. Here's Santana with a catch in the gap to end the inning. A bloop double by Jordan Danks leads to the third Chicago run. You're watching the Twins and White Sox, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. summer, and then you send it out to us. I know what you're thinking, Tom Hanneman. Kurt Suzuki leading off the Twins' eighth, down by 3 runs now. Jose Quintana's retired 9 in a row, 8 of them via strikeout.
And another strike one. 25 batters, 22 first pitch strikes for Quintana with 13 strikeouts, a career high.
Bottom 3 batters will face Quintana. Suzuki, Escobar, and Hicks. They're a combined 1 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. We mentioned, by the way, that the second game will start about a half an hour after the end of the first game. If this game ends a little quicker than thought, the second game will start no earlier than 6:10, which is the printed start time on the tickets for Saturday's game. And that's in fairness to the fans who might want to schedule something else that only planned on coming to one game anyway. And you can't start the second game before their game officially was supposed to start. 2-2. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be very nice.
No, it would not.
Plus, it'll allow a little extra time for the suspense to build for the start of the second game. Outside 3-2. Suzuki has the single in the bottom third of the order. Twins have 3 hits. Zach Putnam warming up. Hit from the top third of the lineup, the middle third, and the bottom third. And this one flipped foul.
Quintana out there for the 8th inning. His longest outing, 7 2/3 innings, came against the Seattle Mariners here. When he pitched 7 2/3 innings of shutout baseball.
Suzuki pops another one. On the last foul ball, this one just out of reach. On the last foul ball, fully 30 seconds after the ball landed, a fan slowly walked over and picked up the foul ball. That's how few fans are sitting, at least in the shaded section here. That reminds me in the dark early days of the Metrodome, when someone would hit a home run to left, there was very rarely anybody sitting out there in left field. 3-2 to Suzuki. And he takes a walk to start the 8th inning. Fans would pick a row behind the third base dugout, and it was like a horse race, running down the left field line and then making the turn at the foul pole, hoping they had picked the right row in left field to pick up the home run ball.
We did that as kids at Anaheim Stadium. Same thing. Robin Ventura out. Quintana should be getting a very nice ovation as he walks off this mound here. A career high 13 strikeouts, only 3 hits allowed to the Twins.
long. He's been a nice 1A to go with their number one starter, Chris Sale.
I'll tell you what a day. 13 strikeouts for Quintana in the 5th and 6th inning. He struck out all 6 batters, and as you mentioned, 8 out of 9 batters from the 5th inning to the 7th inning. A couple walks, and it was a walk to Suzuki that finally ended the day for Quintana. 111 pitches thrown, 74 strikes. Zach Putman coming into the ball game. A bullpen that has struggled, but Putman doing a pretty good job out there since his call up in the middle of April. 46th relief appearance. Very good combined 2.1 ERA. 35 hits allowed in 51 in the 3rd innings.
Here's Escobar. Suzuki at first after his leadoff walk. Strike one. Again, the last time Quintana pitched against the Twins, he pitched 5 innings, didn't give up an earned run, and then he handed it off to the bullpen, and they gave up 15 earned runs in 4 innings. Obviously, he's hoping for a better bullpen result here today. Pulled foul. 2 strikes to Escobar.
Escobar now hitting as a left-handed hitter, where he's hitting .256.
Chris Parmelee's in the on-deck circle. He's going to hit for Aaron Hicks. Oh, and 2 to Escobar. Tough night at the plate for Escobar. He's gone down swinging 3 times.
Got Putman with that split finger, and that ball kind of tailed down and away. Picks up a strikeout. His 42nd in 52 innings pitched. See the sink on that pitch.
Hicks had gone 0 for 2 as a right-handed batter. Normally will take over, I would guess, in left field. Up and away, ball 1.
Parmelee's been the best pinch hitter off the bench. 3 hits and 10 at-bats. He's driven in 4 runs.
Swing and a miss. Obviously some larger issues for the Twins in the offseason, centering on the starting rotation again, but one thing I know Ron Gardenhire would like is a more potent bench and more players on it. For most of the year, the Twins have had just 3 bench players because of the 13-man pitching staff. Twins don't have a pinch hit home run, just 14 for 74 with 9 runs batted in. The other day, he had Josmil Pinto pinch hit in a situation where he might not otherwise have pinch hit Pinto, simply because he wanted to see if Pinto would respond to being able to get a hit off the bench. 2-2 to Parmelee.
Putman coming in looked like he's throwing nothing but that split finger.
2-2. Parmelee trying to get aboard with Santana on deck.
Everything away. There's a fastball. Putman, 27 years old, signed by the Indians back in 2008. Played his college ball out of University of Michigan. Spent time with the Indians, Rockies, Cubs, and now the White Sox.
Fouled off of Parmelee's right shoulder.
Again, it looked like the split finger that just dove down and away. Probably getting off the arm, the shoulder.
Two and two. It's hit to the gap in left center field. Parmelee delivers. That ball will go up against the fence. Suzuki's going to be waved around third. Ramirez with the throw home. And the Twins are on the board on a pinch hit double by Chris Parmelee.
Driving in his 5th run as a pinch hitter. Got a pitch away, went that way. A lot of room out in left center.
As you said, they were pitching him away. All the pitches were out there someplace.
Not a bad pitch. He just went down and hit that ball sharply in the left center, dropping the barrel of the bat. By the time Eaton could get that ball back in, Suzuki scores from first base, and that run charge to Quintana.
One down, a runner at second. Here is Santana. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Taken low, ball 1. Santana 0 for 3 as a right-handed batter, now hitting as a lefty.
It's a bullpen combined with a 4.32 earned run average, one of the highest in the American League for the White Sox. 21 wins, 28 losses out of that bullpen.
It's up the line foul, as we've said a time or two this year. If you put these two teams together, you got one heck of a pitching staff. Chicago's rotation, the Twins bullpen for most of the year has been very solid, which might explain why the two teams are 4th and 5th in the division. 2-2 to Santana. Apiece. I suppose in one day with his back-to-back doubleheader, we'll see plenty of evidence as to why the Twins are in 5th and the White Sox are in 4th. And one of the weak spots for the White Sox has been the bullpen. 2 lefties out there, and one of them, Eric Surkamp, is warming up. 2-2. Strike 3. Santana's 3rd strikeout of the ballgame.
Putman picking up his 2nd strikeout.
Bring up Dozier. 10 finalists have been selected in the Fox Sports North Girls Search. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com/girls through September 15th to vote for your favorite. Dozier comes to the plate representing the tying run. He too has struck out twice already.
The Twins have struck out 15 times of the 23 outs in this ball game.
Dozier takes a strike. Home run would tie the game, and Dozier would like to hit a home run for a lot of reasons. He's in a home run drought. Still the team leader with 20. To short. Ramirez scoops it up. The Twins get a pinch hit double to get on the board. Still trail 3-1. Toddling last night?
No, I did not. No toddling here. You?
No. There's Parmalee in left field. Drove in a Twins run with a double.
Yeah, they're taking the sunglasses of Santana, really the only field right now that Chris gets to stand in the sun a little bit. Tough to see. That sun is setting here in Chicago.
Alexei Ramirez will face Phil Hughes. Trying to complete 8 innings for the 4th time this year. One of them was a complete game loss at Fenway
Boston.
Park.
Yeah.
Ramirez with a 2-run home run in the 3rd. Ground out and a fly out surrounding that. There's a strike on the outside corner. 11 strikeouts for Hughes. First Twin pitcher to get 10 or more strikeouts in more than 2 years. We'll see how many he can pick up here in the 8th. Some activity out in the Twins bullpen. If it's going to be a long drawn out affair, Hughes might be relieved.
Good slow curveball right there by Phil. There, Ramirez's 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Only 1 earned run against Hughes.
That's a ground ball down the line. Ramirez rather will have an extra base hit.
They came back with the same type of slow curveball, and this time Ramirez just kind of almost threw his bat at it, and the ball ended up down that left field line. Another extra base hit off of Hughes. Ramirez picks up his 2nd on his 31st double. He's going to just fling the bat out there, and the ball right down that 3rd baseline.
1 single, 4 doubles, and a home run against Hughes. 2 of the doubles by Abreu. He'll hit next, and in what we believe to be typical Abreu fashion, he's got 1 down each line. He uses the whole field. One of the reasons he's had such an impactful rookie season. Fouled back 1 strike. Darkharsuit.com trivia question. It's got to be Ron Kittle, isn't it?
How about Bill Melton? Ron Kittle.
35 on the dot in his rookie season of 1983. White Sox won the division that year, the old American League West, with their theme being winning ugly. I think that had more to do with the style of play than how the players actually looked facially. It was, let's see, Tom Paciorek. It was Ron Kittle, Greg Walker, Greg Luzinski.
Who was a catcher then? Was it Fisk or was it Ron Karkovice?
No, Karkovice came later. It was Carlton Fisk. Pitching staff of Lamar Hoyt, Rich Dotson, I believe, Britt Burns,
Art Johnson there then.
Managed by Tony La Russa. 2 strikes. And Abreu gets hit by a pitch. 0-2 pitch. Abreu will go to first.
It looked almost like that little cutter that they were trying to get inside. And Phil Hughes hitting Abreu, just his 4th hit batsman of the year.
And that's going to be the end of the afternoon for Phil Hughes.
Well, they tried to come inside, I think, with that little cutter. Too far in. And a cold evening, Abreu gets hit.
Phil Hughes pretty disgusted with how things went here in the 8th inning. I know he wanted to finish the inning. Gave the Twins a real good chance to win here today, but he will not pick up win number 16. an earned run. In our farmland, what's cooking? Edwin Encarnacion trying to keep Toronto's flickering playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, they missed him a little bit when he was gone. But he's back.
So too Brian McCann trying to keep the Yankee hopes alive. Rougned Odor. With Texas beating Atlanta, the Braves are running out of time in games. Aaron Thompson getting a look here as a left-handed reliever. He's done pretty well here through 3 2/3 innings, and he's been brought in some late inning situations here.
Yeah, making his 4th appearance. He last worked on Tuesday, an inning and 2/3 of shutout baseball. Got his first major league hold in the Twins' 4-3 win.
Marcus Semien will pinch hit for Connor Gillespie, who had gone 0 for 3. First and second, nobody out. Semien might be asked to bunt here. Bluefin on the grass, Mauer on the edge of the grass.
Twins defense looking for the possible bunt.
Semien takes strike one, giving no indication that he will square. Doesn't mean that he won't do that now. Joe McEwing giving the signs from the third base coach's box. Driven to deep center field. And Semien cracks one off the top of the wall. 1 run will score. Abreu will be held, and instead of bunting, Semien rifles a shot almost out of the ballpark.
Guy got a fastball up and did not miss it. Ball maybe a couple, 2-3 feet from going out for a 3-run home run. Instead, it's a double.
Pitch down and away, and Semien went out and got it.
Oh, that's right down the heart of the plate. Good swing by Semien. His 8th double of the year, driving in his 20th run. That run charged to Phil Hughes. Is Abreu at third base still his responsibility?
Now Garcia will be intentionally walked as the Twins try to keep this game somewhat within reach. So a run already in, and now the bases are loaded for Jordan Danks. Danks, a little pop fly double right on the left field line, leading off the 7th. And then he was driven in by Wilkins' single. Danks called back, and Viciedo will hit instead.
Viciedo 2 for 5 as a pinch hitter. Suzuki will go out and talk to Thompson about this plate appearance as Ron Gardenhire is about ready to make a move. Once Viciedo's name was announced,
Michael Tonkin's been warming up out there, so it looks like Tonkin will come in to face Viciedo or yet another pinch hitter if Robin Ventura goes that route. Started this inning. Aaron Thompson came in, gave up a double and the intentional walk. No one's been retired yet. And as Michael Tonkin finishes his warm-up tosses, our Century link to what's next. No earlier than 6:10, and maybe a half hour after the end of this game, somewhere in that neighborhood. Logan Darnell will be making a start for the Twins against Scott Carroll.
Yeah, Darnell will be making his 4th start for the Twins. It's Scott Carroll, who the Twins faced earlier this year. Michael Tonkin coming into the ball game. He worked on Thursday in Game 2. Twins lost that ball game 2-0 to the Cleveland Indians.
Let's have the infield in here. They're already down by 3 runs. Viciedo at the plate. Ball 1. Just want to see how Tonkin fares in tough situations like this. There can't be anything tougher for a relief pitcher than coming in with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Viciedo, a strikeout victim. He does like to swing that bat. Big swing right there on that sinking fastball.
1-1. And now 1-2.
Viciedo with 20 home runs on the year. He's driven in 55 runs. He's also struck out 113 times in 479 appearances. Plate appearances, and he strikes out here.
2-strike slider gets Viciedo 1 down.
So Duncan coming in, making a big pitch and getting a strikeout.
Tyler Flowers, he must be strikeout prone too, because he's done it 3 times today. Strike on the outside corner. The 3 strikeouts for Flowers bring his total to 153 strikeouts in less than 400 at bats. And now 2 strikes quickly to the Chicago catcher.
Yeah, 2 good fastballs in the mid-90s.
So we saw Tonkin strike out Viciedo with a slider. Second hit batter of the inning, and the first hit batter of Abreu will come in from third. Completes the log for Phil Hughes. 3 earned runs in 7 innings plus.
Suzuki, you can see he wants that ball away, and it hit the left arm of Flowers. Flowers will be credited with getting an RBI, his 48th of the year.
Andy Wilkins drove in the 3rd Chicago run with a single his last time up. Strike 1. And Wilkins, too, it's safe to say he's strikeout prone. He struck out once today. And it is was his 13th strikeout in 26 at bats. Rolled to second. 1, 2, better than a strikeout. Tonkin does a good job if you could take away that hit batter as he gets the 3 outs of the inning. 5-1. The White Sox with the lead in the opening game of this traditional doubleheader. It'll be Javi Guerra trying to get the last 3 outs for the White Sox.
Yeah, Guerra making his 38th relief appearance. 2 wins, 3 losses out of the bullpen. 34 hits allowed in 41 1/3 innings. 18 walks, 5 intentional with 36 strikeouts. Carrera in his first season with the White Sox.
Semien stays in the game, takes over at third base. And Moises Sierra into the game playing for Danks in left. Mauer will lead off the 9th for the Twins. They were hoping to start this 9th inning down just a couple of runs, but instead it's 4. Had it been just a couple of runs, we might have seen Minnesota native Jake Petrichka. Strike 1 to Bauer. Singled his first time up, lined out to left in the 4th, and then struck out in the 6th.
Guerrero with a good fastball, hard breaking ball, and a changeup.
It's to the left field corner again. And another nice running catch by a left fielder, taking what maybe even just a year ago would have been a double away from Joe Mauer. Twice he's hit the ball to about the same spot. Problem is now there's somebody standing there just about. 1 down on the 9th. Here's Vargas.
Game's about adjusting.
If he hits that ball to the right field corner, he's got a triple because
Yes,
there's never anybody there.
Yep, that's what I meant by adjusting.
There's Vargas, 0 for 3. Inside to Vargas, ball 1. Vargas 0 for 3. The average dropping down now for Vargas below 300. I know that Twins envision Vargas being a 300 or better hitter, but they expect home runs, extra base hits, and tremendous RBI potential.
Well, he has shown the RBI potential and the power. This is his 40th major league game. He's driven in 35 runs already with 7 home runs. 6 of them as a left-handed hitter.
Hook foul.
Very quick bat.
Whole shift facing Vargas. And he's fastball off the plate, 2-2. Swing. Angel Hernandez said he went 2 away.
And another strikeout against the Twins here this afternoon. 16 times they have struck out.
Bring up Plouffe.
Straight over the top curveball. Vargas says Hernandez unable to hold up.
Plouffe with a walk. Strikeout, had a hit taken away by the then third baseman Connor Gillespie. Strike 1.
Guerrero selected off waivers from the LA Dodger organization back in late May. Called up on May 20th. Straight over the top. Heat.
0-2. Two strikes to Plouffe. another strikeout, and the game ends fittingly on a strike 3. Nothing much offensively. A pinch hit double by Parmalee, but the Twins don't get much done against Jose Quintana. And Tom Hanneman, we're going to be back in about a half an hour for the start of Game 2.